On this video, we'll give you 5 sneaky ads to improve your fantasy baseball roster today. I'm Alan Seslowsky here with RotoWire co-founder Jeff Erickson. Jeff, let's hop right into it. Adbert Alzolay. Why should we add him?
2 starts this week for the Cubs. Good strikeout rate. You know, a guy that is the opposite of pretty much every other Cubs starter is that he's not a pitch to contact guy. He was a little bumpy early on, even got sent down, but he gets road starts this week at Cleveland and then at Detroit. Although that second one against Detroit is kind of in the air. They may not hold that. They may just go all 5 starters. So, and it might end up being just 1 start. We'll see what happens with that because they only have 5 games this week. But this is a guy you want long term too. It's not just a guy for this week. He's a guy that you can use going forward. If he doesn't get 2 starts this week, it'll be 2 starts next week. You'll get a jump on that. I just like what he can do. The Cleveland's been no hit twice already this year. So this is a team you want to attack.
How much of your fab budget would you recommend going after him with?
So say if I'm in a 12-team league, which is where you're going to find him available, the 15 teams he's pretty much already rostered. But I would guess somewhere in a range of like 5 to 10% of your fab budget.
Minnesota outfielder Trevor Larnach. Why should we pick him up? Is he a good sneaky ad in 12-team leagues?
He's a good, and even in 15 leagues, 15 teamers also. AL only, he was available in the one I play in called Tout Wars, where he went for 30% of his owner's budget, which is pretty big bid. You don't see that too often, but going to play regularly, was already a prospect. But the Twins have a couple of major injuries, Alex Kirilloff and, of course, Byron Buxton being the big one. Buxton being hurt and out for an extended period of time with that hip injury. Larnach's going to get a lot of playing time. He has a chance to kind of bust his way through. The Twins all season long have been using guys like Jake Cave, Kyle Garlick, others just to try to get by. And Larnach's a guy that could just take the job and keep it all year.
Mets outfielder Kevin Pillar. Can he help our roster this week?
Yeah, this is a short-term ad. He's a veteran. He's going to be on the team, and if you're in a deep league, he's probably rostered already if you're like an in-all only. But I found him available in my 15-team mixed league this week. I found him in, of course, some 12s also. Some speed, some power, and with Brandon Nimmo on the IL, and he's also on my roster, by the way, it was a perfect fit. Just that he's going to get that playing time. And then as soon as Nimmo comes back, then I can make that decision again. But Pillar is a guy that can help you in the short term. You want guys that are just getting the playing time. It's really hard to find good outfielders right now, I found. They're getting hurt at a bigger rate than pitchers. The Mets only have 5 games this week. That's the only negative about Pillar. But so if you've got a league where you use guys Monday through Thursday and then Friday through Sunday, that might be a guy that in the Friday to Sunday phase that you can use for sure. The Monday to Thursday part might be a little bit dicier.
Yusei Kikuchi. We need to add him?
Yeah. The ERA doesn't look great at 4.30. I don't love the Dodgers matchup. And then the second start against Cleveland, again, lefties against Cleveland is a sweet spot so far this year. You want that. Kikuchi's a guy it can bring you a decent amount of strikeouts, good swing and miss. Hasn't been the big time strikeout guy this year that he was last year, but still someone I'm really kind of on to begin with. He's available in some places. Go ahead and use him.
Those who watch our video each week already added Tony Gonsolin, but if you haven't, why is he a must-add, a sneaky ad for this week?
Well, I like him to get him now before he comes back off the IL. In some leagues, you may not be allowed to take him, but if you are, this is the guy you want to jump on him now before he starts to get a little pricier. Spots in the Dodger rotation, that's something you want. A great team. I know they're not playing totally outstanding right now, but at the same time, this is a team that you're going to want to have the backing of that bullpen, good offense behind him. He's got good stuff in and of his own self too. Good strikeout guy. He should be in the rotation the next 2 to 3 weeks. He'll be replacing Dustin May, who's out for the year.
Sometimes adding the wrong player could really hurt your roster. Who's a player you see added this week that you are not going anywhere near?
That's a good question. Pete Fairbanks for the Rays. With Diego Castillo's on the IL, someone needs to pick up saves for the Rays. It wasn't Fairbanks yesterday, and it probably lowered his fab bids in some places. And the Rays just a mix and match for the most part. Castillo said he's going to be back relatively soon. So I was kind of circumspect in my bidding on Rays relievers this week.
Of the players we talked about and anybody else going on the waiver wire this week, who are you being most aggressive on?
Well, it was all about need this week. And the thing is, there wasn't the big time guys this week. Larnach was probably the trendiest name, but he wasn't the big name guy like we've had in some other weeks. However, I ended up with Pillar in a couple of places. William Contreras is another guy, catcher for the Braves. I ended up with I had a catcher injury that I had to replace. So that's a guy who's getting a lot of playing time for the Braves and will for the long term because they have Travis d'Arnaud out for a long term period. So Contreras is a guy that is still getting some playing time. So we were aggressive with him in one place too. A sneaky one that you might think about is Tyrone Taylor with the Brewers. He's been batting third and fourth in that lineup. Christian Yelich went back on the IL for the Brewers this past week. So it looks like Taylor's going to get some playing time for the long term.
Try RotoWire today, free for 10 days. Get our premium tools, rankings, analysis, and breaking news alerts. No credit card required. Go to rotowire.com/try.